Hello students, welcome to the course on Verilog HDL. I am Shivanand Kulkarni. In the previous video, we have seen the detailed HDL design flow. Okay, starting from the design specification to the final chip. Okay, so we have seen the different processes and the different abstraction levels. Okay, so in today's session, we will be seeing the importance of HDLs. Okay, so using HDL, what are the advantages in digital design, and then particularly why Verilog HDL. Okay, what are the advantages of using Verilog HDL, and then what are the trends in HDLs, the future advantages obtained by using the hardware description languages. So we'll take up one by one. Firstly, we'll consider the importance of HDL. HDLs have many advantages compared to traditional schematic based design. Okay, so before HDL come into picture, so digital designers were going through the manually breadboard methods, and they used to have the schematics. Okay, and from that they used to design. Okay, so as HDL came, so there are some advantages compared to that. First one is the designs can be described at a very abstract level by use of HDLs. Okay, abstract levels we have mentioned. So designers can write their RTL description without choosing a specific fabrication technology. Okay, so there may be fabrication technology in the production house, it may be changing, right? So when digital designers writing HDL code, no need to bother about which fabrication technology I have to keep in mind and write. So that is not the issue, that is not there. So just you have to focus on writing the code. Okay, and again, if a new technology emerges, designers do not need to redesign their circuit. Okay, so it is a HDL, you can just write it, so the tools will take care of the new technology, everything. Okay, they simply input the RTL description to the logic synthesis tool and create a new gate level netlist using the new fabrication technology. So in case there is a new technology or a new tool has come, so then your code will be same, that same code will be copy and pasted in that, and it will produce the new get level list according to that fabrication technology. Okay, so that's why this is a great advantage. The logic synthesis tool will optimize the circuit in area and timing for the new technology. Okay, so as I told you in the very beginning, so in the VLSI design process, the area, speed, and the battery power, these are the contradictory trends. Okay, so this also will be taken care by the logic synthesis tool. Okay, so if you upgrade the tool, so just we are not writing again from beginning the code. Okay, so just we are putting the RTL description, that is HDL code, into that tool, and it will take care of the anything updation happen with respect to the parameters also. Okay, so this is the first advantage of using HDLs. Secondly, by describing designs in hardware description languages, functional verification of the design can be done early in the design cycle. Okay, so since designers work at the RTL level, they can optimize and modify the RTL description until it meets the desired functionality. Okay, so whatever optimization is required, you can do it any number of times, so before the chip is produced. Okay, or bugs are there, so that you can verify. So once chip is done and then verification, and you can again do, so such cost involvement is less. Okay, so most design bugs are eliminated at this point only. Okay, so that is the advantage, and this cuts down design cycle time significantly, because the probability of hitting a functional bug at a later time in the gate level netlist or physical layout is minimized. So you imagine, starting from the design flow I mentioned, so design specification to the final physical layout. Okay, so you have gone through, and now there is a change in the code. So what happens, so your design cycle will stop there and you have to do re. Okay, so instead, so before you produce the netlist or physical layout, any number of time you can do the functional verification. Okay, at the top level itself. Okay, so this is another advantage of using HDL based design. So this looks very not clear to you, even for me also. Why? Because we have not worked on that old technique, schematic based designs, right? Those who have worked in the semiconductor industry during the time 1980 1990. Okay, so during this time this book was written. Okay, so that's how we could not understand why exactly, but we can imagine now. So we can picturize in our mind. So what is the disadvantage at that time and how HDL has helped them a lot. Okay, so just we can think of. But when we are doing the lab, so all these points will be clear to us in a little better manner. Okay. Third advantage of HDL is designing with HDLC is analogous to computer programming. If anybody working in different field, he wants to jump to VLSI design process, he want to learn HDL. So then if he has a basic programming language like C, okay, so he can easily adapt to writing HDL. Okay, only extra thing he is required is digital circuit design. Some concepts he has to read, and if he has the C programming language, so he can easily write the HDL. So this is one of the advantage, right? So if a language is very difficult and it is only highly talented people can do that, then it is a difficult one, right? So it is not so. That is another advantage of the HDL. A textual description with comments is an easier way to develop and debug circuits. Okay, so we are using the documentation like textual description we are writing, and we are writing comments. So this step what it will do, so it will help any new user or new developer to understand the code easily so that he can modify. Okay, this also provides a concise representation of the design compared to gate level schematics. Okay, although we start with gate level schematics, but as we are writing at RTL level, that is data flow or behavioral level, so it is looks like very concise. You will not understand internally how they are, which gates are using or whatever, you does not come to know. Okay, it is a more concise design. Gate level schematics are almost incomprehensible for very complex designs. So gate level schematic is very difficult to do for very complex designs. This also we'll see. So that's why we'll take up gate level design, and then what is the disadvantage, from there we'll come to the top level. Okay, so that it is easily understood to you. So with rapidly increasing complexities of digital circuits and increasingly sophisticated EDA tools, HDLs are now the dominant method for large digital designs. Okay, so day by day there is an increase or development happening in the EDA tools, and also complexities is arising in digital circuits. Okay, so then HDL became the part of the digital design. Okay, so no digital circuit designer can afford to ignore HDL based design. So this is the very important one. Okay, so any digital circuit designer, he could not say I could not use HDL for my design. Okay, so that is the importance of HDL. Okay, so this is about in general. Okay, it may be VHDL, Verilog, Abel. There are many other HDLs are there for any HDL. So these are the three advantages. Now, why particularly Verilog HDL? So what are the advantages provided by the Verilog HDL? That also we'll look at. Okay. Verilog HDL has evolved as a standard HDL. Okay, Verilog HDL offers many useful features for hardware design. Okay, so one of the advantages, it is made standard as IEEE standard 1364. We have seen in previous video, right? So that's why Verilog HDL is a general purpose hardware description language that is easy to learn and easy to use. Okay, so since it is similar to, it is syntax is similar to C programming language, so any new developer can easy to learn and he can easy to use that tool. Okay, since it is standardized. Okay, so that is the first advantage provided by the Verilog. Another, Verilog HDL allows different levels of abstraction to be mixed in the same model. Okay, a designer can define a hardware model in terms of switches, gates, RTL or behavioral code. Okay, I told you different styles we can write the Verilog HDL, right? At the switch level, then gate level, then data flow level, then behavioral level. So this can be mixed in the same model itself. Okay, mixed level design we say. So that is possible using Verilog HDL. Okay, a designer needs to learn only one language for stimulus and hierarchical design. So another thing is, I told you in the very beginning, right? There is a stimulus block and there is a design block. That means you will be writing a code for now multiplexer. For example, 4:1 multiplexer, you are writing a code. So you have written the HDL. So what are the inputs, outputs, and their relationship with the outputs? Okay, all these things you have written in a code. Now, this 4:1 multiplexer acts as a 4:1 multiplexer or not, you have to check. For that, you are writing a test cases, right? So if you are using 4:1 means 4 inputs. So you have to give that 4 inputs values. 4 inputs means 2 to the power 4, 16 combinations. Like in digital, we are giving inputs as 0 or 1. So 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 like that till 1 1 1 1. So you will get 16 combinations to the power 16 combinations you will get. That is becomes the your test bench, right? So that also you can write it in a same language, Verilog. So you no need to learn another language for that. Okay, so that is the second advantage provided by the Verilog HDL. So you will see this in lab. Okay, so we write design block and stimulus block. Okay, and we will verify. Okay, third advantage provided by Verilog is most popular logic synthesis tools. Okay, so whatever the industry, okay, like Intel or Xilinx, Synopsys, okay, whichever semiconductor industry they are using Verilog's HDL, so they will be having their own logic synthesis tool. In our lab, we are using now XST, which is provided by the Xilinx. Okay, similarly, all the vendors they have their own logic synthesis tools. They support Verilog HDL. Okay, this is advantage, right? So the language is standardized, because of that they are supporting, and they are supporting so that it is easy for the designers. So this makes it the language of choice for designers. Okay, so that is the third one. Then all fabrication vendors provide Verilog HDL libraries for post logic synthesis simulation. Okay, so there will be pre logic synthesis and post logic synthesis. So once Verilog HDL is code is done, after that there is a automatic place and route, I told you yesterday, right? Layout, all these things will be done by the fabrication vendors, right? So there also they should have the proper libraries to support that. So they are providing for Verilog HDL. So that is another advantage. Okay, so thus designing a chip in Verilog HDL allows the widest choice of vendors. Okay, there may be percentage, okay, others they may be using, but Verilog HDL is the majority of people's choice. Okay, and finally programming language interface, PLI. Okay, so this is another powerful feature in the Verilog HDL that allows the user to write custom C code to interact with the internal data structures of Verilog. Okay, so this is another feature, you can use it in the Verilog HDL PLI. You can write custom C code, so just data structures, that it will interact with the data structures of the Verilog. Okay, so designers can customize the Verilog HDL simulator to their needs with the PLI. Okay, so even you can simulators you can customize. Okay, that is possible because of the programming language interface provided in the Verilog HDL. So these are the 5 advantages with respect to Verilog HDL. So in the question when they ask, you should be clear. Okay, whatever we have seen, first 3 advantages, it is with respect to general HDL. It may be VHDL, Verilog, okay, Abel, anything. Okay, and these 5 particularly for Verilog HDL. Okay, so next we will see what are the future trends in HDLs, on the new advantages which can be added to Verilog HDL or in general hardware description languages, so that in the future also HDL will be there in the digital design market. Okay, this trends in HDLs we say. The designer's assistant EDA tools have become sophisticated enough to achieve a close to optimum implementation. So if you see this from the very first video where we started with evolution of CAD, right? So there is a tens of transistor, hundreds of gate count, thousands of gate count, then become millions of gate counts. As the complexity increased, so they require a tool, right? EDA tool and the HDL language, right? So once HDL tool has come, so it started off with coming with logic verification tool, then came the logic synthesis tool. So slowly they are achieving the close results with the what we are doing manually. Okay, so now the further there is an improvement in the EDA tool so that it is not close to optimum implementation. That means almost the accuracy is almost 100%. In that level they are working now. That is the future trend. Okay, so now it is close, it may not be 100%, it may be some 90% or 95%, whatever. Okay, that is close we say. And optimum means still reducing the, so as I mentioned yesterday, EDA tools will have garbage in garbage out. Okay, that is one disadvantage is there. So that is try to remove. Okay, so that you will get an optimum implementation possible. Okay, the speed and complexity of digital circuits have increased rapidly because of this close to optimum implementation. Speed is improved. Okay, and the complexity of digital circuits have also increased. Okay, and designers have responded by designing at higher levels of abstraction. Whatever we are writing code at switch level, gate level, or RTL level, we are able to write now at the behavioral level. It is the top level, right? So that is possible. Designers have to think only in terms of functionality now. So the designers has what gate or how to connect the gates. This is not the think now. Okay, so now they have to think only in terms of functionality. So this is a device, how it functions, that's it. Okay, EDA tools take care of the implementation details. So that is how EDA tools have developed. So this is one of the trend. Okay, the next most popular trend currently is to design in HDL at an RTL level, that is behavioral and mixed and data flow level mixed, that is called as register transfer language level, because logic synthesis tools can create gate level netlist from RTL level design. Okay, so this is the second trend. And third trend I mentioned in the design flow also, behavioral synthesis. Okay, so we have seen logic synthesis till now. One step further, behavioral synthesis. In that sense, you no need to write the RTL description also, just write the functionality behavior. Okay, so this is a for example heart functioning. Okay, so heart is there, so heart is functioning. Okay, it is having this much. Okay, so how the blood flows, just functionality, you explain it and you write a algorithm or something, so it will make it into HDL code, and then it will do the gate level description, everything it will do. Okay, that is behavioral synthesis. Still it is in research, I mentioned, right? So behavioral synthesis allowed the engineers to design directly in terms of algorithms and the behavior of the circuit, and then use EDA tools to do the translation and optimization in each phase of the design. But this did not gain widespread acceptance. Maybe some problem was there. So that's why still we are writing the code, and the popular trend is writing at the RTL level. Okay. Verilog HDL is also being constantly enhanced to meet the needs of new verification methodologies. Even IEEE standard 1364, whatever I mentioned, 2001, okay, which is 20 years back, right? This also will be updated, right? So that also they are doing updation, and they are doing it. But in this book, whatever I'm referring, so it is 2001 standard. I'm referring that. So if you browse it, so you'll be getting which is the present Verilog HDL standard. Okay, so that is about. Then the next trend is formal verification and assertion checking techniques. Okay, so what is meant by this? Formal verification applies formal mathematical techniques to verify the correctness of Verilog HDL descriptions and to establish equivalency between RTL and gate level netlist. Okay, so when we are writing gate level netlist, gate level program, so we'll be writing correctly because we are digital designers, we know what gate and all. But when there is a logic synthesis tool came, when we are writing a RTL level and then it is converting into gate level netlist, so the same logic can be implemented in different gates, right? So gate, you may be done that in digital logic design. For example, XOR gate can be built using normal ordinary gates, right? uh, XOR gates. Okay, or it can be using AND OR gates, or it can be used using NAND gates or NOR gates, right? Like that, the logic synthesis tool can select anything. It can use NAND gates only or NOR gates only. In different situations, it may give different results. Okay, so that correctness, how you will going to do that, is done using this formal verification. Okay, that is the trend. And assertion checking allow checking to be embedded in the RTL code itself. So whatever this formal verification is there, it is embedded. Okay, so along with the code only, it will be padded. So that is called as assertion checking. However, the need to describe a design in Verilog HDL will not go away, so no need to bother about so writing Verilog HDL. Okay, so that will not go away. Whatever the tools part, they are doing the optimization close to optimum implementation. Then new verification languages also have gained rapid importance. Okay, like C, C++, okay, object-oriented futures and all. So these languages combine the parallelism and hardware constructs from HDLs with the object-oriented nature of C++. Okay, so even you can write a C, C++. If you are well versed in C++ code, you can write C++ code for the same digital design, and then you can convert it into a HDL code. So that is also possible today. But don't know how better they are, how better that design is, that is not checked. Okay, so that is also the trends. Okay, these languages also provide support for automatic stimulus creation, checking and coverage. Okay, so stimulus creation means what? It will create the test cases for you. Okay, so that is also possible. And then checking or testing and covering all the test cases, all these things also it will do. However, these languages do not replace Verilog HDL. So we are seeing it in every point, right? So whatever the optimization is happening, but it will not replace writing Verilog HDL, right? So this is a good point. They simply boost the productivity of the verification process. Okay, so whatever these new trends or new verification languages or formal verification and assertion checking techniques, so all these will boost the productivity of the verification process. Verilog HDL is still needed to describe the design. Okay, so that is what the conclusion. Finally, the last trend. Okay, some more trends are there. For very high speed and timing critical circuits like microprocessors, the gate level netlist provided by logic synthesis tools is not optimal. Okay, so you know the Intel processors are coming every year or two. Okay, now Itanium 5 7. Okay, so whatever present trends, future microprocessors you are using in your laptop or desktops. Okay, so all these are processors, right? So these processors developed by these tools may not be optimal. Okay, so in that case there is a more techniques are required. Okay, so in such cases designers often mix gate level description directly into the RTL description to achieve optimum results. What they are doing is they are writing the RTL description along with they are writing the gate level description, and then RTL description they are putting into the logic synthesis tool, and that they will compare with whatever you have written gate level description another way. Okay, that they will see and they will check the results. Okay, if it is providing which is providing better results, that they will take it for the chip manufacturing. Okay, so this is why still the costly is there. So once these techniques are developed, so still the chip cost may reduce. Okay, so that is how. Finally, another technique that is used for system level design is a mixed bottom up methodology. Okay, so next unit we will be learning this design methodologies like top down and bottom up methodology. So here the trend is to mix it. Okay, bottom up and top down methodology to mix it, where the designers use either existing Verilog HDL modules, basic building blocks, or vendor supplied core blocks to quickly bring up their system simulation. Okay, so small pieces of code to combine it and to make the simulation. Okay, this is called as bottom up methodology. Top down means a large circuit you will break up into small circuits, that is top down. We will look at in second unit. Okay, so this is done to reduce development cost and compress design schedules. Okay, so this is regarding trends in HDLs. Okay, so in today's video we have seen what is the importance of HDLs, that is the advantage of HDL in general, then why Verilog HDL or the advantages provided by the Verilog programming language, and then we have seen what are the future advantages added to the HDLs. Okay, nothing but trends in HDLs we have seen. Okay, so with this it completes the contents of unit 1. Okay, so although it looks like I have taken 2-3 classes, but very first two units, first two modules, it is completely theoretical. Okay, so it will like take less time. Okay, whereas third and fourth there are programmings are there, so we need to take each programming, so there it will take double the time. Okay, whatever video prescribed 8 hours for this, there it may require 16 hours. That's why I will reduce the time here and I will use this time to explain more language part. Okay, programming part. Okay, so this is it. Okay, thank you. If you like the videos, okay, don't forget to click the like button. Okay, see you in the next video.